What's up, people? Distraction and ride a little bit. Couple beers, some meat later on. I just get on my bicycle like crazy. What's going on, guys? So photo shoot there. And so I'm gonna go meet her over there. Have a couple of things. Definitely do some other close flowers. Then tonight, sushi. Caitlin's boyfriend's birthday. In case anybody wonders, yeah, my wife took off with the car today because my car is the one that has a car seat on it, so that's the one that we use to ride the baby around. And she went to have some professional photos taken from the kids. Later on, apparently, it was found that her and her sister were going to be included too in the photo shoot. So can't wait to see those pictures. And it would have been fun. So I'm riding right now on First Avenue. We're heading towards the brewery right now. I don't know what's gonna happen once we get there. Supposedly she told me that it was gonna be fairly busy. Now, I've seen that place fairly busy, and busy is really, really busy. Like, you don't find places to park or anything. It's a nightmare. I mean, everybody probably will think, well, you know what, you're heading towards downtown. Downtown doesn't have much free accessible parking, so it makes sense. But I have to say, no, that's not necessarily always the case. Sometimes downtown does have accessible parking. Actually, on the side of the road and on weekends, most times parking is free, especially during the dark hours. But in that brewery, there's definitely free parking, if we can find any. My biggest fear is that normally I will have to park like far away from everything, and I don't really want to do that with my motorcycle. I like to have my motorcycle on site. You never know what's going to happen. So in any case, so anyway, my wife's birthday is coming up on Tuesday, and she asked me for some kind of perfume of some for her birthday. So I already ordered it for her, whatever. But what she doesn't know is that she is going to get a surprises in this video, as I don't want her to find out if she ever happens to watch this video. But I will definitely talk about it on my next video and advise what I did and how to go. Hopefully it will go well. But in any case, I am pretty excited about it. This Saturday I am attending a Miami Hurricanes football game in Orlando. I will be going with my father-in-law over there. There's supposed to be some sort of scrimmage, so it should be fun. Considering that we live about 4 hours away from Miami, it is kind of a pain having to actually, drive 4 hours to be able to see the Hurricanes. So this is actually a nice thing. I don't really look forward going to Miami at all, to tell you the truth. The traffic is normally crazy. People don't speak English. It's just insane. For all we know, it's like Miami's like its own thing, and then there's the rest of Florida. And there's too much of a hustle just to get there, come back, and there's really not that much stuff besides Miami Beach. In Miami Beach is, I wouldn't necessarily say too crowded, which it is kind of crowded, but I would say that it's too polluted. And it's just not a nice, clean feeling that you get when you see that. It's like, oh, this, okay, cool. Not like, oh wow, this place looks like nice, it looks neat, it looks clean, it looks like somewhere I want to go. In any case, so those are my thoughts about it. I know that a lot of people actually like Miami, a lot of people don't. I don't have anything against the place. If anything, my issue is mostly with traffic. If anybody knows me, they will know that I even hate driving to Tampa. In Tampa, it's only like 20 minutes away. And the reason why is because there's a huge difference from the traffic over here in Pinellas versus the kind of traffic that there is in Tampa. In Tampa, you go on the 275 and it's crazy. There's always an accident. Traffic over there is crazy. Everybody's always in a rush. And it's just not my style, I don't like that kind of stuff. I like to enjoy riding my motorcycle. If I have to drive the car, I like to drive the car easily, not feel like I'm always in a rush, not feel like somebody behind me is always in a rush. I don't like people cutting me off. And then those people that cut you off, most times they don't even use their blinker. And shout out for that to Miami, because Miami is pretty much well known for that. And we're not talking necessarily about cutting you off with, like, let's say, for example, a car and a half worth of space in front of you. No, there's people fine. They look at whatever space you have in front of you, and if they think that their car will fit in there, even if they fit just with an inch of extra space, they'll cut you off. It's insane. And unfortunately, Tampa is getting that way. After 2009, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about the economic crisis that we had in 2009. A lot of people decided to move to Florida from up north because, luckily for us, back then we had a lot of jobs down here. So things were not as bad. Well, guess what? Afterwards, it kind of became bad because pretty much there was too many people that All right, so I had a couple beers and I kind of snack out. I'm gonna head to the restaurant to meet the family. We're gonna eat. Yeah, I think it's a very, very dangerous situation to actually be drinking over there in front of the cops and hoping that they're just gonna smile and chill and that they're not gonna get you. I kind of walk behind the cars, minding my own business. Got on my motorcycle, and for all I know, once I'm riding, I didn't have my helmet on. Granted that my helmet is very distinctive. It's a skull, so it's very, very rare that you're not going to be able to tell who I am. But still, it's one of those things that I was kind of hoping to not be seen. And luckily for me, I wasn't. My motorcycle, I have to say, is very, very loud. So it wouldn't have been a good idea for me to drive through their parking lot. So I'm just going to go around and I'm just going to head to the restaurant. And we're going to a place called Sake 23. Apparently we're going to eat sushi and whatnot. I love sushi, by the way. We're going to see what's up with traffic and all that right now and head over there. I did find out that apparently the photo shoot went well. It was a little chaotic, but it went well. It was outside in a park. Mind you, here in Florida right now, to be outside is about 80-some degrees. So, I'm not criticizing anybody, but definitely that wouldn't be my temperature of choice to go sit at a park and have professional pictures taken. I mean, it's not as bad as it's going to be in about a month or two, but still. That's why I always tell everybody that whoever is planning to start riding motorcycles and riding, legally, that is, here in Florida, in order for you to get your endorsement for your driver's license, you need to take the riding safety course. And that course is pretty much given, it's a 2-day class and it's given in a parking lot. And one of the requirements for that course is that you have to be fully geared. You need to have helmet, gloves, jacket, jeans, and boots. Well, the long story short is that I have to say that it is somewhat of a big parking lot. But at the same time, there's also a lot of people that attend. In my class, there was 12 of us. So what I did was, this was actually in April, I think. March. And I have to say, I regret having taken that class on March. That class, I should have taken it on January, February. February would have been like perfect time. Beginning of February, that is. Because what happens is, you're pretty much in a line waiting to ride, waiting to do whatever exercise the instructor tells you to do. Mind you that those exercises normally include just looping around the parking lot or driving state or driving maybe over some debris or whatever, or whatever they test you, or doing like little turns and stuff like that you may have to do. However, in the meantime, the sun is still beating down on you. And believe it or not, I ended up sunburned on my neck and the areas where I didn't have anything covering me, like for example between the jacket and my gloves and whatnot. Mind you that, of course, all that stuff needed to be cleaned afterwards because I was sweating profusely. And no, for those of you that want to know, it was not fun at all. I mean, it is nice afterwards knowing that you accomplished it, but I think that class, the way it is intended, is mainly for people that have never ever rode a bicycle. So they teach you how to ride, regardless if you know how to keep your balance on a bicycle or not. So they should have something for those people that already know how to ride, to be able to go and say, okay, well, just do the exercises, show me that you know how to do them, and then we'll just move you on to the theoric part of the class, which, that part, in all honesty, took 2 hours. It was a day and a half of being on the parking lot riding, 2 hours of a class, and then 15 to 20 minutes of a test. Which I have to say, the hardest part of the test wasn't the written test, which is really, really easy. Anybody that knows how to read can pass it. But the hardest part was actually doing the writing test, and not because of the stunts as to how hard they are. It's mainly because how long you're waiting to be able to do the test while you're sweating, you're uncomfortable, you're riding a motorcycle that you're not going to ride ever again, because you don't get to ride your own motorcycle. You get to ride the little tiny bike that they give you over there, and it's just annoying. Like, I have my own bike, and every time I was getting on my bike, after getting on that little bike, it was like a whole world of difference. You felt in a different way, you rode in a different way. I had a sports bike back then, and man, it was like, what just happened? What am I doing on this thing? Almost like a joke. And so in any case, it's really easy to take that class. Not so easy to take that course. I mean, if you're serious about taking the course, by all means, take it. Just keep in mind that over here in Florida, you're going to sweat a lot. You're going to get sunburned. You're not going to enjoy the class, especially if you decide to take it during the summer months. It is not going to be something you are going to like to remember for a later time. It's definitely going to be one of those stories that you will tell people like I tell. Hey man, if you're thinking about doing this, do it during November, December, February maybe. Months where it's not cold but not hot. It's nice. You don't mind sitting outside under the sun because you're not permanently, covered in sweat. So anyway, we're almost there right now.
Yeah, here it is.
I'm looking for that food. I have to say,
All right.
I'm not entirely sure as to how many calories I probably burned today by pedaling all the way to Dunedin and back, but it is definitely an accomplishment for me. Like I was talking on the other video, my legs are not very, very good. At least my right knee is not very good, so I'm very, very not well with the amount of things that I can do with my legs. For example, let's take something as simple as squatting. Everybody knows that squatting involves, you pretty much you bend your knees, you can do it with 2 legs, and you go down and then you go back up. Well, me, for as long as I bend down, I can come back up, but pretty much what really gets me all the way up is my left leg. My right kneecap and my tendons over there on my kneecap have been damaged to the point that they cannot hold my body weight. So what happens is, if I can do a squat just fine with my left leg. Alright guys, just finished eating, and we've been here for at least a good couple hours, 2-3 hours. I have to say, I was starving. I was famished. So, I mean, I'm home now. I'm pretty tired too. I didn't realize that pedaling that distance was gonna drain me up so much. I mean, I am ready to go to bed, tell you the truth. I have to apologize for the video before on the bike ride and also the other motorcycle riding videos, because I didn't have a good strap for the camera, so the camera was kind of facing down, whatever. Now I found a way to actually strap my camera and keep it facing straight at all times, so it's good, because now it just, no matter how much I move or how much the bike moves or whatever, the camera just doesn't fluctuate or move up or down. It actually keeps pointing forward, which was ultimately my goal. My friend Joe was telling me, hey, well, you know what, you can always strap the camera to the bike. I try to do that, but the strap that I had apparently wasn't as good, and it broke. And I don't really want to mount the camera on my helmet, I tell you the truth. Because one of the reasons why I got the helmet is because of the look. I mean, I don't care about wearing helmets, but after I had a child, I was like, you know what? Should probably start wearing a helmet, at least when I ride long distances. Like if I go to the gym, if I go to the store or anything like that, I don't really care about wearing a helmet. But if I'm riding somewhat of a longer distance, I would say anything longer than, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, then yeah, it's probably worth it for me to actually wear a helmet. Or if I go to the highway, definitely. So my helmet looks really, really neat. It's a skull. It's a black skull that goes over my eyes, and then I wear glasses under the helmet, and that actually prevents anything from getting into my eyes. Well, my wife got it for me, because I told her, if I'm gonna wear a helmet, I like to wear the helmet out. So I picked that helmet, she got it for me, whatever. Then I do have a full face helmet, whatever, like those that they, it covers the whole head, it covers the face, it's got that visor and all that. And I could attach the camera to that, but I don't want to wear that all the time. Here in Florida, wearing one of those helmets it's just the worst, man. I mean, during the riding, it's just fine, because ultimately you have ventilation and all that, but stopping at a light on 80, 90 degree weather, there's no ventilation anymore. You just start sweating profusely. You take the helmet off and your head's all wet, the inside of the helmet's all wet. It's just like, no. Why? No, thank you. I pass. I get the point of wearing the helmet, but I mean, you gotta not necessarily dress up for the ride, which is a good idea to dress up for the ride. However, you have to be able to comfortably ride too, because if you're like really, really uncomfortable, you're bound to have an accident too. I mean, think about this. You can live in a cold place and bundle up. But those of you that bundle up, I used to live on the cold weather. So on the cold weather, you bundle up, and what happens is you start losing room. Your range of motion decreases because you're adding layers to your body. You can now move your arms as freely as you could if you're just wearing a t-shirt. So the same thing happens with gear. Depending on how thick the gear is that you put on, yeah, you probably have more protection, but at the same time you have less chance of movement. So what I do is I wear my helmet, and that's it. I know the chances I'm taking. Someone says, well, you know what, if you go down, you're going to scrape your hands. I know. well, if you go down, the t-shirt's not gonna cover your body that well. It's not gonna protect it. It's not gonna protect your arms. Whatever. I know. I'm okay with that. I know the risks I'm taking. That's why I got insurance for it. And let me tell you, I love my insurance because I have full coverage, and I'm only paying about $25 a month. So it's all right. That's why also I don't mind leaving my bike on the parking lot and going inside to eat without having to be picking up my bike every 2 to 3 minutes because I have insurance. Somebody takes it, they're gonna give me anyway. It's all right. You gotta live a little. And so of course I try to avoid accidents. Try to stay away from